you ever wondered what other preppers' pantries look like? Well, wonder no more, because I asked my wonderful community, you guys. And I was sent some great pictures of your pantry. And of course, I have people's safety and security in top of mind, which means that I will be using abbreviated names. So you're just going to be seeing inside of some people's pantries, and we're going to be learning from them together. Or maybe not learning from them, maybe having some pantry envy. Let's see. Hi everyone, Morgan here. Let's dive into seeing these pantries. I know you're just as excited as I am. Okay, so this first pantry here comes from S, and she gave a brief history here about how she was a military family growing up, and her mom just kind of always bought some stuff at the commissary. And then there was just, there was always some stuff on the shelf. And then she just followed in her mom's footsteps, just kind of always buying a little bit. But then COVID happened and she was shocked at the empty shelves. Like she had a pretty well stocked pantry at the time, but not nearly as much as she thought she did. So like she really upped her prepping during COVID. So let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so this first picture here, well, I'm not going to go like one by one, but we're just going to take a look here, see. So let's see. So we have, it's really good categorized, first of all. Like, I think every pantry has a little bit of like disorganization and stuff, but this has some pretty good categorizations. Okay, so I like how organized it is. It looks very categorized. I already see like there's Spam, there's oatmeal, there's honey. I see that stuff, right? And then we get a little bit closer and we do see even more categorizations. I love the notes on the outside of the bins. And this is stuff that them and that household eats clearly. I do want to caution people about mayonnaise. I kept mayonnaise around unopened for a year and I opened it and it went bad. So mayonnaise does go really fast. I only keep like one extra on hand at all times. But that's just something that I've come across. Maybe I had it in a bad condition. I don't know, but all right, so it looks like we have two 5-gallon two 5-gallon buckets on top of other buckets. So it looks like this is part of her working pantry as well. Of course, this is a working pantry as well as a storage pantry. I see that stuff on top and I'm like, man, I have sweet potatoes and potatoes on top of my working pantry buckets and I can relate to this. Oh, I love this canning closet. That's so great. And then she said this, she had some other just general prep items. So I think that was pretty good, and she said that she had like various water in other places and this was from S. So thank you, S, so much for sharing your pantry, and I hope it will help to inspire others. So this is from Anonymous. Of course, like I said, I keep people's safety and security in mind. This is from Anonymous. And then they were telling me that they prep for a variety of reasons: uncertainty, the cost, prices keep going up. It's best to stock up during sales and good deals to stretch that dollar more. And then security, just like having a savings account, being able to grow a garden, bake bread, can, freeze dry, all these things. It's really important, This is awesome. Okay, I love these buckets on these shelves. This is exactly what I want, and I love that they're on wheels. Like, you can't see it, but they're on wheels. But yeah, I want something like that. Oh, this is glorious. Look at these organized cans. This is like a dream that I want. This is like a dream pantry right here. Oh, glorious. This is glorious. I love it. And then you can't see the whole picture here. I wish you could, but basically like there's a bunch of shelves over here. Sorry, my screen capture is just a little funny right now. I had to crop it a very certain way. As to keep people's privacy and stuff. But I love these bins, and there's a whole bunch of bins off to the side, but I love these bins that everything is in, really organized. I love it. I think that, they're storing stuff that they obviously consume. That's great. I do see, you don't see this on the picture, but down below there's 4 bags of dog food, which is great. You have a pet, so you have extra dog food there. And that was it from Anonymous. Thank you all so much for sharing so far. This is from another Anonymous, but there looks like there's some LDS stuff and just some boxes. It's kind of hard to tell what's in here, but I would have to assume that they're, organized. They know. Oh, same picture. Now this is great, but I love how organized this is. Look at these. I love these. This is great for like earthquake zones and stuff. This is awesome because this can keep all this stuff in there, especially for earthquakes. And again, I'm going to have to repeat, like I say, I see the mayonnaise, and I just really want to caution people, like if you don't use a ton of mayonnaise, like we use some, but not a ton. If you don't use a ton of mayonnaise, make sure to really rotate or donate or something, because that mayonnaise can go bad, even in ideal conditions, pretty quick, even unopened. That's what I'm trying to say. But gosh, I love the organization here. It is so great. Look at that, just stacked, right? Okay, and then this is just some stuff upstairs. Oh, I love the tea. Oh, look at that. That is cool. Shelf reliance. Oh, that's neat. That's another kind of soup stacking. This pantry is boss. I love it. This is like a prepper pantry dream right here. I love the containers for better organization. I love that you can just take out, like a container and just go with that. That's great. Thank you so much, Anonymous. So this next one is from another S. So she just wanted to say a couple things. I'm prepping for a family of 2, me and my teenage son. And I have kitchen cupboards, which are basically the main pantry. I wanted to note one thing that she said about her pantry. There's not much rain in California, so storing water is a big challenge. Under the bed works for me with a 72-hour stash in what I call the power closet. I had just thought of putting emergency power and lighting supplies in there when I saw your video about using the closet and a shoe organizer, so now there's extra room for water until I get my solar generator. Well, that is amazing. I love that. So right now my closet holds my dehydrated and freeze-dried foods, a month worth of freeze-dried meals for 2 people, and 75 pounds of pasta and 15 pounds of oats. Okay, so let's look at it. All right. Oh, I like this. And I bet you that they are rotating this, like they have all this, but they're rotating it. That's the thing. Like this looks like stuff that they consume. So they are rotating it consistently. Oh, nice. Yeah. See, you know what? I wish people would store more convenience meals like this, because during emergency and disaster, like this stuff is really easy to put together, and for this family, this is going to be a super easy, quick meal that's not going to require a headache, cooking from scratch sometimes. And in an emergency, sometimes cooking from scratch is the last thing on your mind, easy, quick meals. I really do highly recommend that. Okay, let's see. So we have, yes, again, convenience food. This is great. Cornstarch, I see some essential emergency supplies in there. So like this also looks like a working pantry. There's cereal up top. There's things that they are rotating through and they keep stuff around. I love the canned stuff here. This is great, great selection. I think that this just goes to show, if you're still here, I hope that this is going to show what pantries look like for everybody. We saw a one pantry that was just literally like one pantry, and then maybe with like a couple little things here and there. And then we saw another that was like looked like a whole prepper paradise, and then we saw another that would look like, it was like a closet or two. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be crazy sometimes, and you can fit a lot. Look how much that is being stuffed in here. This is many, many, many meals worth of food here. Okay, so I mean, I think that everybody here is doing a fantastic job based on their, funds and space and, what they want to do. What I want you to do is go down below and comment how you want to improve your prepper pantry. And I'm not talking about like an actual pantry. I'm talking about how do you want to improve your overall, like how you store your preps and how you're organizing it and all that. I really want to hear from you down in the comments. And also, I hope you'll download my food storage guide. If you're brand new here, you're looking at these prepper pantries, you're going, gosh, I don't have anything. Go down to my food storage guide and get that today, and it'll be a super big help. So this next person, she did not want to be anonymous. She said that she is Kirsty from Heart's Humble Homestead, and they're in England. And our pantry is a bit chaotic at the moment due to being in a pantry challenge, and with us preserving so much at this time of year. I asked for these pictures around September, so, a couple months later. Okay. The bottom buckets contain flour, sugar, and oats, and our tins are kept under a bed. And in case you don't know what tins are, okay. Oh, look at this. Canning, okay. Yeah, so, their pantries are looking a lot like my pantries. Like it looks very chaotic. This is exactly how my pantries look. Like they look so chaotic, but it's like I know where everything is, okay? Like, calm down. Like everybody looks at my pantries and my stuff and they're like, oh, that is such a mess. And I'm like, shh, 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 okay. But I see stuff, I see the buckets down below, I see that this is a working pantry too. And that's the thing, what a lot of people don't understand is that your prepper pantry is not necessarily just, I'm going to set and forget. It is a working pantry. Our pantries, even the food that we have for emergencies, it's being rotated, it's being used. It is a working pantry. So these next pictures are from Scottish Prepper 73, and they prep for myself, my wife, and kids, and extended family who don't prep, but will no doubt knock the door in time of need. Prepping in the UK, another person prepping in the UK, is very niche compared to our friends in the States, often met with tinfoil hat wearing looks or grins if you broach the subject. Hence why I started my small channel, as every person who preps is one less liability / risk in time of crisis. And they said that so well, by the way. I'm going to give a little clap for that because that's 100% hands down. Like, it's kind of blowing my mind. Like, I want to be this organized and I want shelves that look exactly like this, right? In my space. I love it. It's very organized, has lots of, the buckets. I love that. Scottish Prepper 73. I think it's such a unique angle to look at. So I definitely recommend heading to that channel. I love how organized this is. This is great. Oh my gosh. It's so great. I love the organization. Some more pictures. Again, I will try to show the full pictures here. Just lots of preps here. Oh, I love that water. That is great. And I think that's the pump, the siphoning pump thing in the back. I think that's what that is, that red. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay, fuel. Okay, good. Oh, look at all those batteries. Mom, dang. Okay. Yeah, generator, water, first aid. Love it. That is great. And again, like, I think that was a really interesting perspective. I like to hear from over the pond because it's like, okay, well, in the US, like, it may still not be mainstream, as much mainstream as people think it is, but it is more mainstream than like over the pond, in other countries and other places. So that's really interesting to see that. So this is from Kimmy. She says, I have 2 pantries in my kitchen. So you'll see pantry 1 and pantry 2. A pantry 1 is my working pantry, but I also have some storage in there. Pantry 2 is also storage, but then I use my son's closet as extra storage since he moved out. I also have stores in other locations, various things I currently prepping for myself, my 5 adult kids, 1 daughter-in-law and her father, as well as my father, who is 86 and has dementia/Alzheimer's, and my 3 dogs and my son and daughter-in-law's 5 dogs. That's a lot of people to prep for. So I'm very interested to see. Are you guys interested? Let's do it. Okay. Oh, I love that. I love those shelves. That is great. I see, as a prepper, I see all that empty space and like, fill it with food. Right? Like, I get crazy. That's great. I love this. It looks like they're storing food that they enjoy and they eat. I love seeing that. Oh, it looks like, yeah, some freeze-dried stuff. Oh, nice. Oh, I love those. I love seeing all those matches. That's great. Oh, some freeze-dried. Yeah, more freeze-dried stuff. I looked in the middle and then some water jugs there. More freeze-dried stuff. Oh, I love those books. That is great. Oh, nice. Mylar bag food. You know what? I have not seen one pantry with Mylar bag food, so I'm super happy to see that. But of course, you don't have to Mylar food to have it. This stuff, dried stuff like that will still last a long time even without putting it in Mylar bags, but the Mylar bags do keep it better for longer. Okay, so I don't think that this person specified what they wanted to be called. Okay, so here's one freezer. I do see flour in freezers. A lot of people like to store flour in freezers, and I don't have the freezer space for that, but I commend people who do it. There's nothing wrong with storing flour in the freezer if you're just gonna like take it out and use it. But if you're gonna put it in a Mylar bag, make sure that it is completely dry and has no freezer crystals or anything like that inside of the bags before you put it in Mylar. Oh, coffee. I like to see that. Oh, Rouse. We store Rouse. Yummy. Again, I see blank spaces in pantries and I'm like, fill that with food. No, I love it. I love seeing the variety of food. This is obviously stuff they eat. And the water, that's great. See, I actually told somebody to do that, like if they ever have any under the shelf spacing, like you don't want to put like food, but water jugs like that, that works really, really well. Like if it's spaced right, but yeah. Oh, barbecue sauce, vinegar. I love to see that. And then there's just some other odds and end pantry stuff, another freezer, beautiful. And then this last one is bulk grains, honey. The upstairs pantry is used for open snacks, open pasta, and stuff like that. Cool. Thank you so much. I am going to make you anonymous, but thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate that. All right, here is one from Anonymous. I love the cinder blocks and wood in between. This is totally DIY, and I am all for it. Okay, I love how organized and categorized it is. And this just shows a level of preparedness that is kind of a little bit different, probably. They just made this against a wall, very DIY. So this is just another idea and another creative way to store preps. And it is very clear that they prep what they eat and they eat what they store. And so this is great. I love this so much. Okay, so this is their pantry. It says that this is their pantry. And so it looks like there's some food. And, it looks like some MREs, I think. Yeah, MREs up top. There's some freeze-dried food and then some general, preps. But thank you so much for sharing that. Sometimes it can just look like a shelf like this with like a little bit of stuff around it. Maybe that's all the space that you have, right? I wanted to share these pantries with people because I wanted to show the many differences that a pepper pantry could look like. I'm not here to criticize anyone. I am not here to make fun of anyone. That is never my goal. My goal is one simple thing: to help you and to show you guys that if this wasn't clear already, that all of these pantries are wildly different from each other, okay? And that's good. This is based off of family size, budget, space, your working pantries, whatever, right? And it's all based off the stuff you actually eat, all this stuff. So I loved seeing these different pantries, and I hope you did too. Thank you all so much for those who participated, and thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know down in the comments, and also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and go check out my food storage guide down below in the description, and hopefully a pinned comment. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.